For the first time in human history, it's possible to kill someone on the other side of the planet in real time by remote control. Unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, are readied for takeoff at a secure airbase in Afghanistan. The Predator, or Reaper drone, takes off automatically and is linked to its operator at Creech Air Force Base in Nevada. The operator does not fly the drone, just gives it direction on where to go. The Predator can follow a target for more than a day without stopping. Its cameras have optical, infrared, and radar. They can see through clouds and in the dark. Information from the drone is sent along the chain of command from the Pentagon to the troops on the ground. The drones are armed with Hellfire missiles. Sometimes they observe, sometimes they kill.
You can use it in a lot of different ways. You can dwell on a particular target. You can watch to detect movement, to determine who's coming in and out of a particular location, and then you can react to that.
Faceless victims, unseen damage, and no troops at risk. It's easy to see why the robotic drone is quickly becoming the weapon of choice.
In this year alone, 2009, in the Air Force, we trained more remotely piloted aircraft pilots than we did fighter and bomber pilots. The number of remotely piloted aircraft combat air patrols that we've flown has increased well over 300%. So the demand is clearly been growing, and it continues to grow.
Drones are the beginning of a major shift in how war is fought. There is a surge in robotic systems, in operation or on the drawing board.
We went into Iraq with a handful of drones, pilotless planes, unmanned aerial systems, whatever you want to call them. We now have over 7,000 in the U.S. military inventory. We went on the ground with 0 unmanned ground vehicles. We now have over 12,000. And the U.S. is only one player in this unmanned revolution. There's 43 other countries that are all building, buying, and using military robots.
Peter W. Singer is the director of the 21st Century Defense Initiative at the Brookings Institution. His latest book is about the rise of robotics in conflict.
This is something incredibly important happening in not only the history of war itself, but maybe even the history of humanity overall.
We think of war through the lens of history, where battles were fought by countries with formal militaries. But war isn't like that anymore.
We are in many cases fighting what has been called asymmetric warfare against insurgents or guerrilla forces that are not a state, where one side has the power, has the technology, has the financial muscle. The other side has the very highly motivated troops on the ground.
Insurgents are reluctant to directly engage a superior force. Camouflaged within the civilian population, they strike back with guns, missiles, and a simple yet deadly weapon, the improvised explosive device. IEDs are made out of anything that explodes and are detonated by a tripwire or cell phone. They're hard to spot, difficult to defuse, and deadly.
Heidi!
63% of Canadian fatalities in Afghanistan have been caused by IEDs. These crude weapons support the primary goal of an insurgent's war. Kill enough of the occupiers, and they will leave. But now, there is a way to combat the threat.
The Army tells us that 52% of their casualties come at first contact with the enemy. We say, what a great job for a robot. Robots can save lives.
It's made big differences. In 2003, when I was in Iraq, the people that used robots, obviously the injuries were minimal. Those that did not use robots were catastrophic. You know, I've heard from guys that said the robots have saved their lives and will continue to save their lives. This is potentially a lost soldier. This could have been a soldier.
That's the ultimate appeal of unmanned systems, that you can use them and not have to worry about writing that letter to someone's mother. It makes perfect sense. Perfect logic.
The demand for warbots has created a boom in the robotics industry. Billions of dollars in military spending is driving companies, large and small, to make incredible leaps in technology.
It has the lethal force, which is an M240 machine gun.
The plane can autonomously follow a target.
It's an airplane that can do vertical takeoff and landing and hover.
3 gyros, 3 accelerometers, barometric pressure, and a GPS.
These ultrasonic pingers up here send out clicks like a bat.
The system is so easy to use that anyone can do it.
All branches of the U.S. military are shifting to robots.
Unmanned systems are a huge priority for the Navy. We're flying about 15,000 hours a month in theater. We're also looking at unmanned systems for surface vehicles. We're seeing just a huge explosion.
Congress has decreed that by 2015, 1/3 of the U.S. Army's ground systems must be unmanned. Jeeps, tanks, and small drones are only the beginning. Other militaries are following suit.
Canada, the UK, Australia, France, Italy, Germany, all the major countries are heavily involved in development as well as acquisition of unmanned systems.
In the past 2 years, Canadian forces have increased their use of unmanned drones tenfold.